Welcome back. All right, Winter Classic is done. She's in the books. It was a tough first couple of periods. I think the lighting was messing with the players a bit. In between the second and third period, there was an interview that alluded to the idea that they weren't able to see the puck as well in certain parts of the game, depending where that puck was, as they would when they're in the arena. So you could tell something was a little bit off. It seemed to be affecting the Bruins more than the Penguins. But let's go through this. So the Penguins came into this one 2-2-1 in outdoors games. Boston 3-1 in outdoors, now 4-1. Pittsburgh now 2-3-1. Puck pitch. They did this weird puck pitch thing before, like you smack the puck with your stick, and a guy. It was weird. It was just weird. It was odd. At least Johnny Busick was there. Bobby Orr was there. So some of the all-time Bruins greats. And the Bruins came in wearing Red Sox gear before the game. The Penguins were wearing Pirates gear. So it was kind of fun. And really, I always find with the Winter Classics, the pomp and circumstance, everything else that goes on around it, it feels like that's a bigger deal than the game itself. The game itself isn't as important as all the pomp and circumstance and the fantastic jackets the coaches are wearing, which I've never been able to find one I can afford. They're really expensive because I was looking, oh man, that is a gorgeous jacket. And then I look online and I go, yeah, no, it's not $500 gorgeous. I'm just throwing an estimate out there. I know it's really pricey. So it was Jarry versus Swayman in this one, and Belbiv DeVoe saying, I was like Boston's own, and I thought, is it Dropkick Murphys? It's Belbiv DeVoe. Odd, really odd, but they sang the anthem, so that was the thing. So yeah, Jarry versus Swayman. Letang is out, and condolences to Chris Letang, who has really been through it this year and now dealing with his father passing away. So you get, I mean, your standard from any kind of a job is a week that you get off for bereavement. It takes longer than a week. It takes a long time to get over something like that. I remember when that happened with Markstrom in Vancouver. It was something that affected him for a while after that. So Letang can take his time and all of that. And so Pittsburgh came into this. They were playing 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. I'm going to chime in on this too because I know the guys on the panel are talking about it. Honestly, there were a lot of teams playing 11 and 7, and while it would have looked odd to us 10, 15 years ago, I don't think guys bat an eye now. Just means one of the forwards gets an extra shift, and one of the defensemen is going to be the odd man out for a large portion of the game. So the shots are one apiece at 3 minutes. Good early flow. It didn't stay that way. Dueling chants in the crowd. I thought that was fun. Here, let's go Bruins, let's go Pens. Ruda then had a shot that was held. The Bruins press at 5.5 minutes. Rust has a tip shot that's held. Malkin's then denied on a rush. I think Malkin was the best player today for Pittsburgh. Not that he gets on the board. Penguins dangerous in transition in that first period. The shots are 9-5 for the Penguins with 9 minutes left. DeBrusk hits the post. Then there was a post for Gensel. During that same flow of play, both teams hit the post, and then Ruda had a shot that was blocked. Jarry strained something, or he strained something, although they said after he got hit in the knee with the puck. I put strained something on the board. Did not update it, so hopefully Jarry's not out for that long. But the thing that I found interesting was you could tell Jarry was not right. Boston couldn't get a shot on net. They couldn't test that, and I thought, you know, if there's a time for Boston to, and I'm not going to say net crashing because that's classless, but if there was a time for Boston to really try to get that pressure on the net and get those cross-crease passes going, that was it. And just Pittsburgh's defense was very solid in that first period, and probably a little bit of good fortune there for Jarry as well. So he was out. DeSmith goes in. DeSmith was seen getting ready quite a while beforehand. He could tell that Jarry wasn't right. And as the guys said too, I mean, this is your one chance to play in an outdoor game. I'm sure Jarry wanted to see if it would get better, and it just didn't. So the Bruins were out of sync. The Bruins were really out of sync, I thought, through a large portion of this game, which I thought helped to bail out Jarry. Ruda fires one wide. The Penguins press. The Bruins had a 3-on-2 that fizzled, and then it's during the TV timeout that DeSmith goes in the net as a replacement for Jarry. There's a timeout, or during that TV timeout, I should say. And then 2:27 left. The Bruins get a power play. That was killed off. 3 shots. Solid first, I thought, for the Penguins. Good puck pressure. They had a good forecheck going. But it's scoreless going to the second. They showed the Penguins' emergency backup was dressed. Mike Chason. So Mike Chason gets his name into a video here and was seen on TV wearing that really nice Penguins gear. I don't know if he gets to keep it. I hope so. The jersey, I mean. I would imagine a lot of the gear is his own. It's not like they're going to just, well, we're keeping the pads, but those are mine. You didn't read the fine print, Mike. So, yeah, he was dressed just in case, and he had to stay in the dugout because of NHL reasons. Near miss for Crosby on an early press. The Bruins get their second power play, but 10 seconds later that comes to an end. It becomes a 4-on-4. Crosby then had a rush chance that was defended. Everything's killed off. The Penguins then get a full power play right after. That led to a shorthanded 2-on-1. That went offside, but, I mean, it was right near the end of the power play anyways. At least it wasn't an intentional offside where the face-off comes all the way back to your own zone. Penguins had the only shot of the second period 7 minutes in. It was slow, and there wasn't a lot. So remember, it's almost halfway through the game and I'm here. And I thought, gee, this recap might be a lot of, maybe I'll get some puppets and do some kind of little reenactments, because there wasn't sustained pressure by either team to this point. And then at 8 minutes and 40 seconds on a good forecheck, Heinen gets the puck out to Kapanen, and it's a one-timer and close. Carter with the secondary assist at 8:40, and suddenly it's 1-0 Pittsburgh. Bruins were still without a shot to this point. I thought Pittsburgh was outplaying them and doing a very solid job of keeping the crowd out of it and really keeping the Bruins out of it. Krejci fires one wide on a rush. Then there's a near miss for Malkin when he gets a rush opportunity as well. Foligno has a net feed that's blocked out. There's a press by the Bruins with 8.5 minutes left. DeBrusk to Marchand, near miss. And then they took a break to sing Sweet Caroline. I don't like that song. I never have. It's weird to me because it's a song that kind of just disappeared from existence for decades, and now it's sung everywhere. So I don't know. I've been at Canucks games where it starts getting sung, and I just kind of sink down into my seat and wait for it to be done. And I understand there's other people who may not like the music that I like, and that's cool. That's fine. But I just turned the TV's sound off until they were done with that. At least they warned me that it was coming. So Kapanen has a chance that's held. The game was really lacking flow at this point too, and I didn't think the extra time for Sweet Caroline necessarily helped. But hey, things get punchy with 3:21 left. Heinen and Forbort are unfriendly there. The Penguins had a press, and then there's a rush by Marchand. Penguins take it back. They press again. DeSmith had been really good as well. I thought DeSmith in relief played well, looked solid. Both goaltenders for Pittsburgh are pretty good. You're not looking at a huge drop-off when you go from Jarry to DeSmith. And I was wondering, too, with the players and some of the physical stuff we saw late, maybe they were trying to stay warm. Maybe it's just one of those things where, I'm kind of cold, so get ready. But yeah, anyways, kidding aside, Pettersson has a shot deflect into the crowd. That one actually got into the crowd, and Pittsburgh guy caught it. Forbort fires one wide in the final minute. Marchand has a chance that's held in the closing seconds, but after two, it's 1-0 Pittsburgh. And up until this point, I thought Pittsburgh's playing really well. So I did what anybody who's completely not superstitious would do. I went and put on a Penguins hat for the third period because I'm not superstitious. There aren't any. There just aren't any. Because why would I be superstitious? That'd be crazy. Third period, I've been superstitious when it comes to sports, and I know it's irrational, but I'm still, there's no cameras in here, but still, other than this. And it doesn't faze me when I'm watching games. So early Penguins press in the third period draws a power play. So this is right game plan. Right now, this is where you want that power play goal if you're the Penguins. Crosby with the net feed, that's picked off, cleared out. There was a shorthanded Bruins rush, that goes offside. There were a lot of offsides by Boston, and it may have been part of what they were talking about not seeing the puck very well and just some of the issues with the vision in that building, which got better in the third. I thought once the lighting came on and it was actually nighttime, that the play really picked up, and I thought it was a better game. So I think both teams were affected by some of the lighting issues, the sun's going down and lights being turned on and whatnot. That's something you would not be familiar with in your regular hockey life, right? So the power play's killed off. The Bruins then press as the lines are getting shuffled. Smart move by Jim Montgomery mixing up the lines. It worked. Penguins press at 4.5 minutes. Ruedel has a shot deflect out. Grzelcyk has a shot that's blocked. The Bruins get a power play. They cycle with the puck, but the Penguins do clear it out. However, shortly after that power play comes to an end, DeBrusk gets a goal from Marchand at 7:46. It was right after that power play came to an end. So that ties it up, and then the Bruins look for the lead. They have momentum, and again, they just seemed a lot sharper in that third period. Foligno has a shot that's held, and the fans are getting loud at this point. There's a press by the Penguins with 9.5 minutes left. The fans wanted a tripping call on a play where Hall was knocked down going to the Penguins net, but I will agree with the announcers on this. That wasn't a penalty. he went down pretty easy. So they're probably lucky an embellishment wasn't called there. I remember Hall was playing for New Jersey, and there was an embellishment call against him against Vancouver, and Devils fans didn't like me for agreeing with the call on Taylor Hall on that one either. So in this case, I think that yeah. Anyways, we'll just move on. There's a post for Coyle as the Bruins press, so the post got a workout today. McAvoy took a puck to the side of the head, but he did get up and skate off. Just anytime you see a guy get hit with a puck like that, you pause for a moment and hope he's okay. Ruedel breaks up a 3-on-2. Ruedel had a good game. Gets on the board a couple of times for non-scoring plays, but he's still there. Bruins are getting zone time, but kept away from the net until Hall with a net drive, really strong net drive. His shot doesn't go. DeSmith saves that one, but DeBrusk buries the rebound. Hall and Krejci with the assists at 17:36. And so this puts the Penguins in a position where they have to pull the goaltender with 1:45 left. And Ullmark tried to hit said empty net, which apparently Montgomery loved and thought that was great. 1:19 left. The Bruins called a timeout. Here's where I have a question. So there's some confusion about this. The Bruins just iced the puck, and apparently they let the Bruins call a timeout. Who was officiating this game? The team that ices the puck is not allowed to call a timeout. Now, the Bruins afterwards said they did not call a timeout and thought the Penguins had called a timeout. Right, because it was icing. You can't call a timeout when you ice the puck. I have yelled at announcers many times. We're all here. I don't understand why they're not calling a timeout. They can't. They ice the puck. You're not allowed. So I thought that was weird. I really did. And they showed it as a Boston timeout. It was announced as a Boston timeout in the stadium, and nobody batted an eye. The announcers didn't say anything while I'm talking to the TV. Marchand then beats out an icing. The Penguins were then guilty of an icing with 27 seconds left, which they did not agree with. With 12.6 seconds left, now we get the confusion. You get all the players at the bench, and then they said, well, now the Penguins are calling a timeout. Oh, it looks like Boston's calling a timeout. And Montgomery didn't remember calling a timeout. It's just, it's an outdoor game. You're going to get this happening. I'm thinking that everybody would have caught that the Bruins iced the puck with 1:19 left and can't call a timeout in a regular game. But at any rate, the Penguins had chances in those closing seconds, could not get the buzzer beater. They did score right after the buzzer. Yep, Malkin puts the goal in the net after the buzzer is done. So your final score is 2-1 for Boston. They go to 29-4-4 with the victory. Just ridiculous. Got 62 points already. For Pittsburgh, 19-12-6. We're not even halfway through the season yet. 62 points. So the three stars in this one, DeBrusk, Ullmark, and Marchand. The shots 14-10 Pittsburgh in the first, 9-6 Boston in the second, 10-7 Boston in the third. They outshot Pittsburgh 29-27. Both teams were 0 for 3 on the power play. Hits were 31-19 for Boston. Jari saves all 8 shots before he got hurt. DeSmith saved 19 out of 21. Ullmark was fantastic again. 25 saves on 26 shots. The funny thing is that while people want to dunk on Swayman, I don't think there's a huge difference in how the goalies are playing. I do think there's a difference in how the team's playing in front of both goaltenders. And I'm still remembering that when Ullmark signed that big contract and he had a rough preseason, that there were Bruins fans saying, this was a terrible contract signing. This Ullmark guy sucks. Don't hear that anymore. But anyways, it's a tough market when it comes to goaltenders. We know that in Boston. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. I will be discussing what was revealed as well about the next Winter Classic and where it's going to be played. That'll be in a separate news video at a later time. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.